Now you have idea about three learning domain. What are the three learning domain? Knowledge, skills, attitude. Each domain has certain level when we are learning teaching. Then this can be explained again. Why I explain this again? Teaching learning style of this subject based on this theory. Then first year student usually learn very basic things relating to the course. For the example, definitions of management, principles of management, concept of management, component of management. Then at the exam we ask, define management, what are the principle of management, very basic thing. But after 3.5 years, you have idea about more than 35 subjects. Now you have different ideas from different subjects. Then you have to review the world. You have to review the HR issues, blending all these subjects. Then your brain, your view should be very broad because you're final year. Then final year student, usually at the final year, we are not asking, define, list out, because those are not relevant to final level. Your level is very broad. Your level is very high. Then in near future, you become a HR professional in the market. You have to show your talent. How? Evaluating ideas, creating strategies, then articulating visualization skills. Then you have to propose own value system to the profession or system for the company. Then through these things, you try to show your talent, your different, your competency. Why you are going to show these things? You need to build your identity. In other way, you have to show your brand. Your brand. Brand is the thing we are selling in the market. If your brand is recognized, popular, then you can earn more money. Then you can survive in the system. Otherwise, you become an ordinary man. Then as ordinary man, you cannot earn more money. You cannot show your talent because you are ordinary. Therefore, at the final year, especially in this subject and the advanced HRM, you have to blend all the other subject you study during 3.5 years, and you have to integrate these things. Through integration, you have to think new way, new, you have to propose new ideas, you have to propose new concept, you have to bring new machines to the field, otherwise no survival. Then this philosophy, learning level, teaching level, I can explain giving certain videos. Then here, this is a very famous story.
Once upon a time, there were 6 blind people who lived in a village. An animal named elephant has been brought to the village. One of the villagers told these 6 blind men that there is an elephant in the village today. When these blind men heard this, out of curiosity, they wanted to experience it by touching it, as they had no idea what an elephant is. When the first person touched the side of the elephant, he said, "It is like a wall." The second person when touched the tusk of the elephant, He told everyone that it is strong and smooth, just like a spear. When the third person touched the trunk of the elephant, he said, "It is like a snake." But the fourth person experienced something different. He said, "It is like a tree," when he touched the feet of the elephant. The fifth one when touched the ear of the elephant, it felt like a fan to him. Lastly, when the sixth person touched the tail of the elephant, he said, "It is like a robe." Each of the 6 men starts suspecting each other, thinking that the remaining 5 are lying. They start arguing with each other. A wise man passing by saw them. He inquires about why they are arguing with each other. They tell him what they think about the elephant. They ask him to decide who is correct among them about the description of the elephant.
Okay, then this video and picture explain what? In the world, we are seeing the world in different way. Whatever the information be available, then using available, we are thinking, we are proposing, we are reacting. That is wrong. Then as a person, as a professional, as an educated man, we have to think whole system, holistic way, full views. Otherwise, no ability to propose successful ideas. Okay, then this is the second example. In the early age, ancient people believed Earth was a flat entity. Then those people think this is a flat, but different people with different angle propose different ideas. What is the idea? Then they propose world is not flat. World is not flat.
In the mid-20th century, we began launching satellites into space that would help us determine the exact circumference of the Earth, 40,030 kilometers. But over 2,000 years earlier in ancient Greece, a man arrived at nearly that exact same figure by putting a stick in the ground. That man was Eratosthenes, a Greek mathematician and the head of the Library of Alexandria. Eratosthenes had heard that in Syene, a city to the south of Alexandria, no vertical shadows were cast at noon on the summer solstice. The sun was directly overhead. He wondered if this were also true in Alexandria, so on June 21st he planted a stick vertically in the ground and waited to see if a shadow would be cast at noon. It turns out there was one, and it measured about 7 degrees. Now if the sun's rays are coming in at the same angle at the same time of day, and a stick in Alexandria is casting a shadow while a stick in Syene is not, it must mean that the Earth's surface is curved. And Eratosthenes probably already knew that. The idea of a spherical Earth was floated by Pythagoras around 500 BC and validated by Aristotle a couple centuries later. If the Earth really was a sphere, Eratosthenes could use his observations to estimate the circumference of the entire planet. Since the difference in shadow length is 7 degrees between Alexandria and Syene, that means the two cities are 7 degrees apart on Earth's 360-degree surface. Eratosthenes hired a man to pace the distance between the two cities, and learned they were 5,000 stadia apart, which is about 800 kilometers. He could then use simple proportions to find the Earth's circumference. 7.2 degrees is 1/50th of 360 degrees, so 800 kilometers times 50 equals 40,000 kilometers. And just like that, a man 2,200 years ago found the circumference of the entire planet with just a stick and his brain.
And it is clear, different views change the world. Different views create new paradigm, new era, new era. How different view was given to the world as a round entity. Now we are no, the world is like a round with a ball. Then this is the third example. Uh, what is the most significant change or the innovation of the human? The innovation, most significant innovation of the human is introducing wheel. Introducing wheel.
After mastering agriculture and livestock, man gradually abandoned his nomadic lifestyle and societies became sedentary with the first permanent settlements. This cut with the nomadic past became known as the Neolithic Revolution. Some settlements kept developing themselves and their population began to grow in numbers. This new form of society began to divide labor, creating classes of experts in certain activities, and thus the division of society in social classes was getting clearer. Trading with other settlements was also more common. Some of these settlements became trading posts, which boosted their growth and development, with the first cities now appearing. Scholars claim that the first cities were born on the banks of the Tigris and Euphrates rivers in Mesopotamia, today's Iraq. The cities of Uruk and Eridu are considered to be the first cities founded by men. With that, the first great civilization, today known as the Sumerians, was born. The vast number of products that were demanded by the cities could turn into a logistical bedlam, but instead, it stimulated the mundane use of a new invention, the wheel. It is likely that the invention of the wheel derived from the observation of trunks being rolled to move heavy cargo. The first wheels were massive and had bumpy axles, but those mechanisms were perfected over the years. The lubrication of the axles and the invention of the wheel with rims made them much more efficient. But the decisive factor was the use of animal drag vehicles like oxen, donkeys, and horses, making wheels even more popular. This new invention quickly revolutionized the way man could transport goods and people. And the wheel soon entered the battlefield. Chariots were systematically used as combat vehicle in ancient battles. Contrary to popular belief, the native people of the Americas were already knowledgeable of the wheel when the Europeans discovered the New World. However, it was barely used, as Native Americans did not have access to animals like the horse, for instance. Taking into consideration that limitation, these people opted for other means that they considered more efficient to transport their cargo. The impact of the wheel's invention altered many areas, not only transportation. The wheel was also used in several other mechanisms, which would be crucial to the evolution of mankind.
Okay, then here I try to emphasize the innovative need of innovations, creativity, new ideas, new angles. Otherwise, we are seeing the world in the same way. Then again, this picture explains the same thing. Many theories in the field of management will develop based on different views. Then this is there are 4 pictures explain single pot but in different angle. Then you have to practice, you have to develop your brain in different way. Otherwise, it is difficult. This is also the same thing. Then teaching and learning mechanism of the subject. Highly focused, high level, and different angle, different ways. Then at the exam, I ask different views, different angles, your creative ideas. Then I think you have idea about the subject and the final year's exam paper. Okay,